There's cameras everywhere.
I don't know where to look. I'll just look at this one the whole time. Who am I talking to? Come back.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, it sounds so rich in here.
Yeah, it's pretty buttery.
It sounds pretty buttery, huh?
Yeah, it sounds great.
Oh, man. Hey, welcome to the podcast, videocast number 2.
Hey, what up, y'all?
What's up, world? I'm having the same problem as you. I don't know where to look.
I don't know where to look. There's 3 cameras.
It's freaking brilliant. Episode 2, we've got Alex Marse here.
Yeah, hey.
A.K.A. Marshmallow.
Hey, thanks.
At Marshmallow.
Instagram.
Is there 1 L or 2's in the Instagram
It's 2
name?
L's.
2 L's.
Yeah.
Like a
Marse.
true Mallow.
Yeah.
M-A-R-S-E, Mallow.
Yeah, I'm really glad I chose that handle name. I just kind of thought that would be the one.
Isn't it weird where you're just like, I gotta pick the representation of my entire digital life?
It's kind of intense. I mean, people used to call me that in like grammar school. They used to like make fun of me because I was a little round. True confessions.
A little round. Yeah, it's weird that it's not taken.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to get a good one. You know what I mean? You could be like Alex _ 123 Marse machine.
Who cares about that?
Yeah. Fuck
Why
that.
are you real Chris Baca?
Oh, why am I real Chris Baca?
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I'm real Chris Baca. I was true Baca. And I was kind of like the hub for the stuff that Jared and I were doing, but it was also my personal account because back in the day, Jared didn't really post on social media as much. I got into it like a little bit before he did. We started blogging and started doing the thing, and then he started his social thing. It was like J Trubaka. And it was very confusing. And people were like, thought they were talking to me, but they were tagging him. And then people thought they were connecting with the blog, but it wasn't. So I was like, I need to change my handle because this is just fucking ridiculous. So I searched for something that I could own on all platforms. So I wanted a name that sounded fun and was recognizable. And I could have Instagram, Twitter, and a web domain.
Nice.
And Real Chris Baca was at all of this.
Sick.
So I never am on Twitter, but I have a Real Chris Baca Twitter.
Man.
And I also own realchrisbaca.com.
Wonder if there's a real Alex Marse.
There's probably not, dude. You should probably scoop that.
Just scoop it now.
Actually, you should just buy marshmallow.com.
That's true. That would be
That
sweet.
would be even better.
Lifestyle brand.
Yeah, because it's got that kitschy flavor to it. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, go over to marshmallow.com. It's like got the flavor.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
That vanilla flavor.
And Chris Baca there's a lot of Chris Bacas.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of common. And I think the dude who had just Chris Baca on Instagram, maybe, or it was another Baca one. It's like one of those fucking guys who's got the count, but then, no posts and hasn't been on it forever.
Yeah.
He's just kind of sitting on it.
Jeez.
I'm like, dude, whatever, man.
I'll buy your domain.
I want to buy your Instagram domain. Let me gram for you.
$20.
$20. So, dude, what have you been working on?
Yeah, I've been working on all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Well, okay, you've seen Alex before, but you're what do we call you?
I don't know. I've been calling myself because I just do what I want.
DIY titles, dude.
I've been calling myself the Wholesale Program Director. Which I know.
Director's cool.
Yeah. But I feel like I wanna be a director, in the sense that I wanna figure it out and in the future be able to direct people, to lead the program essentially.
Yeah. And directing sounds sexier than managing.
Yeah, it does.
Managing sounds kind of tedious, honestly.
Yeah.
I manage this
Who
person.
likes to manage?
I mean,
some people do.
Well, it makes it sound like there's a problem, right? Like, I got to manage the message.
Right.
I got to manage my team. You don't manage an orchestra.
Yeah,
All
that's
these
true.
motherfuckers with instruments. I got to manage them.
Yeah.
They're going to get out of hand.
Wholesale Program Conductor. Orchestrator.
Orchestrator. You manage a movie. You're like, yeah, I'm the manager of the movie. Just keeping everybody in line.
It's been a blast, though. Yeah, it's been really fun. Like, I'm basically coming on. So I saw an email the other day from like a year ago that was kind of like my first wholesale thingy, which was getting our coffees into New Leaf in town.
Oh, sick. It's like your first wholesale win.
It's the first wholesale thing. It was like, basically the way it happened was Chuck was just like, hey, dude, you should, because I had started doing other things besides the cafe. Like I was like answering emails for the info at
email
address. And then Chuck was like, hey, dude, you should just go to the groceries in town and see if any of them want to carry our coffee. And I was like, okay, how do I do that? And he's like, I don't know. I was like, all right, cool.
Cool, just go. And then I remember you talked to me about it, and I was like, I don't know either. I know you'll need UPC codes probably.
Right.
But that was it.
And then I was like, UPC.
At that time, you weren't even the wholesale director.
Not at all.
You were like dabbling in all these like things.
Yeah, I was just doing projects. Like there was like the website project that was like, oh, like, yeah, at some point we should have a wholesale ordering forum for our wholesale partners. And then, yeah, I was just like, okay, so there's an opportunity here. There's like things to be done using the skills that I have, and I can like fill a gap here, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, that's sick. Yeah, because you were doing that. You were doing more of that than you were even wholesale.
Yeah.
I almost feel like you got into wholesale on accident.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, getting into like New Leaf and Staff of Life and just like doing that, I feel like was like almost like an incidental thing where I wasn't even thinking of that as like part of the business. But then once I saw it, I was like, oh, this is actually really cool. Like I get to do customer service in like a different realm than, in the cafe, where your customers are in front of you. And I just thought that it would be a cool opportunity to pursue to help to grow the business, because it is like such a big part of any coffee roasting business is wholesale, obviously. So
yeah, that's badass
for sure. Yeah. So I guess I was like doing all kinds of random stuff. Let's see. What's my story?
I don't know what your story is, dude. Why? Okay, here's an interesting thing. Why did you even care
About doing wholesale?
No, about like when you first started going to New Leaf, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go to New Leaf, and I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get the grocery, and I can expand this thing, and I can do this. Like why?
Yeah, because I mean, I since day one have like believed in the mission of the company and like believed in what we do, and especially like in those early days, we were like this like small tight knit group, and I remember just being like, man, this place is really awesome. Like everybody here is great. We take care of our employees. That's amazing. We should spread this, like the awareness of our brand to the world. And maybe this is like, the first step towards growing that kind of, like just getting better known in the community. So yeah, it was really I just wanted to spread that. And, I just felt like there was like an opportunity that we were like missing out on to like be present in the local grocery stores. So
it was kind of bananas to feel that feeling, because that was one of the first times when I was like, oh fuck, like people actually give a shit.
Oh yeah,
because you open this store, and then you have employees, and there's at first, no matter what happens, no matter how awesome your people are, and we had people early on like Tanner who was helping us before we were open, even for free, and he was amazing. But there's this big gap between ownership and employees in the sense of that for the first few months, like you really have to drive the ship yourself.
Totally.
And people are kind of getting comfortable, learning what you're all about, like learning what they can and can't get away with, and trying to figure out, like, can I contribute, or how does it work, or do I even want to?
Yeah.
And then that was a pretty big breakout moment where it's like, actually, I feel pretty comfortable about this. Hey, I'm going to go get grocery.
Right.
You're like, okay. Yeah, sick. For sure.
Yeah, it was funny. I really had no idea how to do it. Like, I remember just being like, wait, I took this thing on, but how the frick do I do it? Like, I don't know anything about, like, selling to people, or even just, like, who do I even talk to? Like, a grocery is, like, this crazy universe where there's, like, a million people, and, like, who knows who is going to be the one that you need to talk to. But just, yeah. So the first thing I did was just called the groceries, like the actual locations. And I was like, hey, we're Cat and Cloud. Super cool. We treat our employees really well. Like I was just talking about us as a company. And they were like, oh, I don't make those decisions, but talk to this person. And I was like, oh, great. But yeah, so it was just a lot of that, like figuring out like, how does this even work?
How long did it take you to get to, so let's take New Leaf for an example.
Yeah.
You call the store. What was level 2? Did you get kicked right to the buyer, or?
Level 2. So yeah, I called the store operator. They sent me to the grocery buyer, and then the grocery buyer was like, oh, you need to talk to the central buying office, which manages the buying for all of the, like they're the gatekeeper of products.
For all the stores.
For all the stores, yeah.
So you went from the store to the individual buyer of that store,
Yeah.
and then got kicked back out into the bigger system.
Exactly.
Because they basically need to authorize
Yep.
us as a vendor
Exactly.
or a product.
Yeah. And then I set up like a tasting with the 2 grocery buyers in the central buying office. And then, yeah, I remember being really nervous for that because I was just like, I don't know. I remember I was like, here's the answer, like shaking, spilling the cup because I just didn't even know what to say. But
And you were never like a barista,
no,
is the thing.
Yeah.
Because we picked you out of the ice cream shop,
honey.
fresh out of the ice cream shop with a master's from N.Y.U. And you're like, I've never done anything more than drink coffee.
Yeah.
Which is, I can't even imagine. I would fucking freak out. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not super comfortable in those situations. And the one thing that makes me more comfortable is I've just been doing coffee forever at a
Gotcha.
deep level. So when we would go to LA all the time with Verve, and I'd have to talk to these restaurant owners and head chefs, and I was just like, whoa, I felt like they were in a completely different world than I was. And I was like, I don't even know what you want to hear.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to nerd out.
Right. Just sound like I know what I'm talking about because I do.
I know what I'm talking about, but I still don't know how to sell anything.
Gotcha.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't have a pitch.
Totally.
I was like bad at a pitch,
Yeah.
which is where maybe a regular person might be better than a coffee, like a full blown barista geek.
I could see that. Yeah.
You know?
You kind of like have like you're not as caught up in details of things.
You have an agenda to, I feel like the coffee nerd can potentially have the agenda to just highlight the coffee, whereas a normal human being should have the agenda of making the client or the customer happy.
Right.
How am I going to improve your business by you carrying our product?
Totally.
Whereas the nerd's like, taste this geisha, it's so sick. Or like, you know what I mean? Like, lots of acidity.
Right.
We're like, okay, cool. Like,
Yeah.
let's talk about my life. How does it make my life better?
Totally. But yeah, I actually, because I remember like back in the early days, just given my background of not coffee, I remember being like I was trying to learn as much as I could at that time about coffee. So I got like the James Hoffman, like World Atlas. That's James Hoffman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Jimmy.
Yeah. Got that book, was reading all kinds of stuff. And then I was like studying our like coffee descriptions and tasting notes and stuff so that I could like at least communicate those things on some level. But it's funny to like look back on it now and be like, oh, okay, I've learned a lot in the last year. But yeah, I remember just being like, yeah, this is the answer. This is probably what most people will buy at your store. Here's the night shift. This is the dark roast. They'll love this too. And then just kind of, they were like, yeah, this is great. You guys are awesome. We love your branding. We love your shop. It like sold itself.
It was easy.
Easy.
Relatively easy.
Took a week.
That's amazing. That's insane grocery turnaround.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So then we get in, and then there's the UPC work
Yeah.
that has to be done for
Right.
pretty much all grocery.
Mm-hmm.
I know about it from the Whole Foods world, but
Right.
and that's as simple as what?
Yeah.
You contact a weird human in the office.
There's this like weird organization called GS1 or GS1 US.
GS1.
Yeah, so you gotta find them online, and then you gotta create an account, pay like a big fee to become a member, and they are responsible for distributing barcodes to vendors, like creating barcodes for you, and then they also interface with retailers. So I guess that's the benefit, maybe.
Do they have like a monopoly on
Pretty much,
like barcodes?
as far as I know, like I remember you
It
could
seems like
either
this should be illegal.
seriously. I remember like you could either go through them or you could buy like already used, like pre-owned barcodes.
Oh, like rollover barcodes?
Yeah. But I remember being like, huh, that's cool. But it was like confusing. Like, what's going to work though? Like, are these things actually going to work? I don't know. They might not work.
Will they live in someone else's computer as like some other fucking product that you scan and
Yeah. I don't
chicken
even
soup
know.
comes up or something on accident if they don't update the system?
Chicken soup, $4.99.
This is a great deal. I love cat and cloud soup.
Yeah, that's hilarious though.
So then you get those, and then it's a one per product.
Yeah.
So you pay to be a member, and then you pay per
product, per variant. So, I mean, for us, it was easy because it was just like 10-ounce whole bean. That's all we're selling. And so you have one of those barcodes for each of those coffees.
But you would need another barcode if you offered ground coffee.
Yeah, totally.
Like ground for drip.
Yep.
Or ground for French press or whatever.
Yeah, it's weird. So you pay for like access to like up to 99 barcodes at the first bracket, and then beyond that you pay more for access to more barcodes.
99 barcodes.
It's weird, dude.
That's crazy.
Feels like a scam.
I remember when you were telling me about it, I was like, is this fucking real? Is there
was
somewhere
mad.
else we could go? Like, are these just guys like shaking us down?
I was really pissed off.
They're like busting us up for being a small business and like
Right?
taking advantage of us.
yeah, dude.
But apparently it's real.
It's real. We just renewed, so I think it's real.
GS1 US, proud member, card carrying member. That was the unofficial how to get a grocery account
Yeah.
chain of command.
Who knew we were going to talk about this?
Who knew? And then grocery is interesting too because usually if you're an account, you order coffee, you ship coffee, it goes there. Grocery sometimes has specific
Yeah.
receiving times and
Actually, it was like the trickiest thing I remember at the beginning. It ended up being like, it's like the most complicated type of account, I would say, in terms of like the like special requirements, the special needs of groceries. Because like, yeah, a lot of groceries will have like a certain window in which you can drop the coffee off. Or they'll have like anytime you have a new product, you have to like get them the UPC like ahead of time, and they have to scan like there's like all these like little things.
they have to get it into their system
Yeah.
like before the coffee actually comes.
Right. You gotta like plan
Grocery.
ahead with grocery. But it's awesome because then once you're in and you're a local presence, and they actually like they buy like a pretty good amount of coffee from us.
It's funny that I see it on the shelves and we have a really good shelf placement.
Yeah, we're
at,
like eye level.
at New Leaf. Yeah, it's super sick.
Thanks, New Leaf.
Eye level's the jam. So you got to get eye level. But we weren't eye level at first. You were working on eye level.
Yeah.
We were either high or low, and then it's just kind of touching base. And
I don't think I even really did anything. I think I mentioned it one time, and then I think that the coffee just was selling well. So they just, yeah, they respond in numbers. They respond to like, you know, sales and metrics more than anything. So
yeah,
yeah.
we do have the brightest, bluest bag.
Yeah.
In a sea of brown
Right.
and like olive green and
black and
like,
red.
Yeah, just
Weird.
they're all low tones.
Yeah.
High tones.
Need those high tones.
Got to get those high tones. Let's call grocery your first big win.
Yeah.
So you take that, and then how did that make you feel? Were you hungry for more? Was it like lighting a spark? Like, okay, cool, I got this account. They're buying coffee.
Yeah.
Sweet, I can do this. I want to do this. Or was it, okay, that's cool. I'll go back to doing code.
Yeah, I remember being like really stoked and seeing like just the fact that it was something that I had taken from A to Z. Like somebody like whispered in my ear to like do this thing, and I was like, okay. And then I just like took it from there till the end, and then yeah, from there I was just like, oh, okay, this is cool. This is a thing. This could be more of a thing. So yeah, I was like really excited to like figure out what the next step of that was, which ended up being just like basically managing like the orders at like email address, and you know.
Is this when you started building the website?
I think so. I started building the website. That was like a long time coming. I think that I really started building the website when I got pneumonia in like March, because I was home. I was stuck at home. Yeah.
Because we were going through different versions of it,
Right.
but nothing was really sticking. It was a huge trial and error process.
It was like a mess, honestly, because like Shopify is like the web platform that we use, whatever, for e-commerce. So we use that for our retail site, but then it was like, oh, can we also use that for wholesale? But then we have to like install this app to get products that have this pricing versus wholesale pricing only for certain customers. It like ended up being this freaking mess that, I mean, I thought it was a mess, and I was just like, this is the worst. So yeah, I ended up just deciding to build a completely
It was kind of a
separate
mess.
website. Yeah.
And the separate website is cheaper for us and way easier to manage than running a plugin on the standard website.
Exactly. The only caveat is that you have to have you have to have like duplicates of products, basically. Like, but it's fine. It's not a big deal.
And then dude, we're going hard for all the homies out
Yeah,
there.
you guys are learning all the secrets.
Learn all the secrets. Those both dump down into Shipstation,
Exactly.
which is our order kind of processing platform where we create labels out of, create shipping stuff, and pull everything gets filtered into there.
Yeah, Shipstation was a sick win. I remember, I think it was like Chuck or Jared or somebody that was like...
I think Chuck was like the ultimate Shipstation fan.
Yeah, he was like, you should check this out, because we were using like Ordero in
Which
the past.
Is horrible. It's the fucking worst.
But that gave me a chance to like kind of geek out over something, but also like utilize my like tech skills and background and be like, okay, let's set up a system that's like as automated as possible so that we like don't have to do a lot of like manual work to fulfill orders.
And not even manual work. The catch-22 with manual work is that more mistakes are made.
That's true.
So if someone's emailing you an order, or someone's sending one order here, one order through the website, and they get processed at different places, because we would be typing them out, entering them manually, and one messed up keystroke, and someone gets maybe half their coffee order.
Totally.
Maybe they get one bag of the Answer 5-pound instead of 10.
I very much remember messing stuff like that up and then just being like, crap, like this is the worst.
It's obnoxious.
Like they're typing the order into us, sending it to us via email. We're typing it in on our system. It's like double the work.
There's too many places for it to get lost.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
It's funny.
Automate that.
But getting pneumonia was actually great.
All you up and coming wholesale wannabes out there, just freaking get ill, dude.
Just get ill.
Get as sick as possible.
I was just stuck at home and I was like, man, I'm really bored. I watched tons of Netflix, but then I was like, I just want to like do something productive. So
I wonder if that means, just fuck with me on this one for a second. Like you're doing, it's not like you were fiddling around, like you were working on it, like trying to figure this thing out, trying to figure it out. And then it took you getting pneumonia to do it. Should there be a built-in kind of intense work hiatus if you want to take one? Like, because I get a lot of stuff done that way, to where you're in the cafe doing stuff and you're like, hey, guess what? I'm not coming in for a week. It's not a vacation. I'm just going to stay at home and go hard on this one thing.
For me, I think that, I don't think I would have been able to get it done in that amount of time, because it was just a thing that I had to just like sit down and do. And I mean, I love working like in the cafe, like on the side, on my computer, but it's like, it could be such a distracting environment.
So distracting.
Just because it's great. Like the energy is great there and like we know everybody and we're always like hanging out and stuff. But in terms of productivity time, it's like, it could be pretty challenging.
Yeah. That's why I bail a lot, and it's hard because I'm always feeling weird, like, oh, people are seeing bail and like, what are they thinking when I bounce? But there's 3 prongs to this. There's just straight productivity, which is super important. There's interacting with the staff, which is also super important. And then there's interacting with the community, which are super important. And you can do 2 of those that are really important in the cafe all the time. You can spend hours doing it.
Right.
I went in to get coffee this morning, and I was just, I'm going to go in and grab coffee because I have to clean this area real quick. I was like, 5 minutes. It's right around the corner. But no, it's 45-minute trip to get a cup of coffee, which is great because I get to talk to Mark, I get to talk to Barbara, like everyone's in the zone and it's super fun.
Totally.
You can go days without getting anything done.
It was cool though to be able to like finish that project and be like, cool, all right, this is ready.
And it's been a hit.
Yeah, it definitely helps. It's helped a lot. Yeah. Like we've been able to like automate a lot of things. So like if somebody orders like a 10-ounce bag of coffee, part of Shipstation's workflow for shipping the orders, you have to pick a package for that, and then you have to pick a shipping like service, like USPS priority or first class or whatever. Sorry if I'm losing you. This is jargon. But Shipstation lets you like automate those things. So if an order comes in with just a single bag of coffee, it'll automatically like assign those parameters to that order so that then you don't even have to think about it.
Like it knows how much it weighs. It knows it's going in that 6x9 envelope or 12x9 by whatever envelope. And then it'll print out the automatic postage for that.
Time saver.
And then you do batch. So the only stuff that we actually weigh out is the big wholesale orders, because those are variable week to week.
Totally.
Because people are ordering all kinds. They're complex.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy though, because I was working with Grace the other day, and she was looking at coffee, and then she looked at me, and she told me exactly what size box it was going to go in and how to arrange it.
For wholesale boxes?
For wholesale boxes.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly. It was an order, and she looks at it, she's like, 24 by 12 by 12, and Like stack them vertically and then these horizontally, and then it'll all fit perfect.
So insane.
And it was perfect. I was like, that's fucking weird.
You're
dude.
on it.
Seeing the Matrix on a different level. Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah. Shout out to the roastery crew.
The roastery crew is insane.
Yeah, they are like crushing it. I don't know if that camera shut off. It's being weird.
Dang it. Did it shut off? We're supposed to have 3 minutes left on the timer.
Loser.
DSLRs shut off by themselves at 30 minutes. Hot tip. So I'm going to go restart the other one. This one's still on, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
GoPro goes hard.
GoPro goes hard. What about...
It's so chocolatey.
Is that the answer?
Yeah.
Answer so chocolatey?
It's the best. It's the best coffee. Like, if you just
Ever.
want to have coffee.
It really is. You just drink it.
I could drink it all day.
And that's certified by friends, family, and people that don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They're like, this is good.
My dad loves the answer.
Dude, we went to Jenny's family for Thanksgiving, and everyone's like, this is good. And they're just random-ass people.
Yeah.
And they don't care.
I remember for Christmas last year, I brought the answer home, and then I brought the Ethiopian natural. And then, I did like taste tests with my family, and everybody was like, the answer. I mean, the Ethiopia is cool, but the answer.
The other cool thing was when we were getting compliments on the coffee, and people were just like, this is good coffee. They didn't know that it was ours. So they didn't know it was mine. They just thought it was like, oh, this is good coffee.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Under the radar.
I'm just saying, if you want to make people happy, you might want to get some Cat and Cloud in your life. Couldn't hurt. I mean, New Leaf thinks it's awesome. Just a soft sell. Just a soft sell. You want to get crazy, bro?
Oh, yeah, let's get crazy.
Okay. I had the idea to do stupid stuff in video format that is not in the audio format. So I think it might be time to do some of that stupid stuff. So Alex is going to make some latte art.
Sweet.
Let me check and make sure that...
Just wanted to let you guys know I am going to crush this.
We're going to heat up the Breville right now. And it shouldn't be too long because I had it on this morning and I was making a little bit of coffee. I just switched out the holiday blend. So we'll give it a second. So let me check the temp.
While that's going, I just wanted to give a shout out to our roastery crew, to Grace, Sarah, Jen, the new folks, Mark and Kristen. Just want to shout out them because without them, none of what I do would be even possible. And I feel like it's so awesome to be like supported by a crew that cares so much and that is there to get the job done like every day. Even though every day is a curveball, there's like new things that come in and it's like, oh no, or like something happens with the roaster, it's like, oh no, but they just always, they figure it out.
Now the timer. Yeah, a little late there, buddy.
Freaking loser.
Freaking idiot. It's so hard to work in our roastery.
Yeah.
I feel bad every day that I go in as a business owner for the people that work in the roastery. Yeah. And I mean that sincerely. It is so small.
So small.
It is ridiculously small.
You should see it right now, y'all, out there in the world.
And then the funny thing is pictures don't do it justice.
Yeah.
Because, you shoot it with wide angle lens. It looks like there's some space in there. There's no space in there. It is ridiculous. We can barely fit all the roasted coffee in there at the end of the night to close the doors.
There's like one lane. It's like a tiny lane that you can like walk through.
For a human.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't go back to back.
Yeah.
If I was standing behind you, we would be butt to butt and like not fitting.
Butt to butt.
Butt to butt.
There's a weird movie with, anyway.
N to B.
Skip that.
Pass.
Me, you, and everyone would know.
Take a hard pass. We got it. We're good. But yeah, it's crazy. And in green coffee, I keep saying it's crazy, and I don't want to say that all the time. It's like this tick that I've developed. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. So crazy. Sound like it's not that crazy, but this is crazy. Green coffee. Basically, every day there's a green coffee run.
Yeah.
To storage. Hucking it.
And like a third of the total roastery space is dedicated to green coffee, at least.
Yes.
Like we already have a shit ton of green coffee in the roastery.
So you got green coffee, roaster, roasted coffee. On a rainy day, it's impossible.
Yeah, you can't do
it. It doesn't work. You can't do anything. If it's not sunny outside, because what happens is you open up the roastery, and then everything that's not being used goes out in the front or the back.
Yeah.
Because we have this thank God we have a standalone building.
Right.
Because if we were in like a regular situation, it just wouldn't work.
Yeah, that'd be a bummer.
And then when it's raining, it's just, you can see it. So I appreciate the work that they do because I know it's really hard.
Yeah.
It's not chill.
Totally.
We have a new roasting space, though. We were supposed to be in it already.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know the details.
The details are, well, we signed the lease. I think you know these details. We signed the lease on the space.
Right.
And it's in the same building where we're going to have another retail space.
Okay.
And the retail space is a long play. So that's going to be like a year away or something. But they said we could move into the roastery basically 2 months ago.
Cool.
But what they didn't know was that the existing tenant built a bunch of illegal stuff in there.
Oh, bummer.
So like mezzanine levels and non-coded bathrooms and just like a bunch of crap that's not supposed to be there. So they had to do a bunch of demo work to get it back to zero and then resubmit it at the county to get it back to code before we can have it. Because we're like, we'll just take a shell,
Yeah.
you know, and we'll drop the roaster in and then punch a hole through the roof.
Yeah.
And we'll put some desks in there for work because we don't have the money to do like a full blown, like, this is our roastery build out. It's just that
It's like, no, we'll get there.
we're not rich. Yeah. It's like baby steps.
Yeah.
Just to have the space will be amazing.
Right.
So all I want is that space and then some sort of little like go-kart
Yeah.
or like an electric golf cart kind of thing. My dream is the merch dream. I want to do stuff that lives in the roastery because that whole area will be just really cool retail space around there.
Yeah.
And I want to have limited merch that only lives on the cart. Like merch, coffees, like hats and shirts and things like that. And you drive the cart out and you drive it around the neighborhood and you can buy stuff from the cart. But the stuff that you get from the cart, you can't get it anywhere else. You
sick.
can't get it in the store. You can't even get it if you come to the roastery. You have to be there when the cart is there.
Dude, that's so funny. So, side story, not related to coffee, but it's cool anyway. In New Orleans, there's this dude who everybody knows as Mr. Okra, and so he's got this like truck with like a big like trailer, and it's painted like all these like trippy colors, and he just drives around and sells like fresh produce out of his truck. But he's got this intercom attached to his like roof, and he's always like, I got fried green tomatoes. I got bananas. Like, he's like sing-songing kind of.
That's so
So he
sick,
drives
dude.
through the neighborhoods at like 8 in the morning. Like,
8 in the morning. Good Lord.
Anyway, yeah.
Everyone's
So
like,
you could be Mr. Okra of coffee.
I could be Mr. Merch.
Mr. Merch.
I got Cat and Cloud t-shirts. Limited edition. I got chips. Roastery Crew, Wholesale,
Yeah.
online ordering form.
All kinds
People can do whatever they want. Why did my headphones? Yeah. Oh, crank those things.
You got them.
Those are some pretty big wins, and they've been big wins for the business too, because it takes a lot of space.
Yeah.
So when we opened, I was roasting all the coffee, I was processing all the orders, I was doing that whole thing,
Right.
and that was insane.
Yeah.
It was like basically a nightmare, and not because it wasn't fun. It was. But the amount of time that I spent doing that, it was a really big chunk of time. And it kind of took me out of the cafe more than I would have liked early on.
Yeah.
So it was just the best way to do it. It was how it went down to where I still worked a lot of shifts, but then I would be over there roasting a lot.
Right.
So I didn't get to know as many of the people as well as some of the other people did. I mean, I saw them, but there was just, it's lonely over there.
Yeah.
You know?
There is a window that you can look through, but
And especially now there's at least a couple people that work there at a time.
Right.
But I was just by myself
yeah.
doing my thing.
Yeah, imagine if you're just on floor by yourself, like
You're all-
pulling shots.
Hey,
Hey, y'all.
I make the coffee. So what's like the motivator now? Is there another big project that you're working on, or how, you know?
Yeah, I mean, some of the things I've been working on is putting together like a growth plan for Wholesale. So basically just like trying to put together a plan that I can utilize and follow, and that like everybody can get behind. That's like, okay, here's how we want to grow Wholesale, because we have this goal of like X number of pounds by next year, right? So the idea is how do we get there?
How do we get there?
So that's been like something that I've been thinking about since the leadership retreat to Chico a couple months ago. Was just like, okay, like, so we get inquiries that come into us. That's awesome. But it's not necessarily enough, to like sustain growth over the long term. So
Yeah, you cap out at some point.
Yeah.
You generate enough buzz as a fresh new business and people find you, but then at some
Exactly.
point you got to go get people.
yeah, totally. Which is cool. I mean, I've been looking forward to this like new challenge of going out into the world and like finding people where they are and being like, hey, we're Cat and Cloud. Like basically going back to the roots of my story with Wholesale when I went to New Leaf, but doing it with like more and bigger businesses.
How do you sell to people?
That's a good question.
Well, I mean, what do you talk about? If you go in, you have a meeting, because there's a bunch of different avenues
Yeah.
that you could take.
Before you even get the meeting, I feel like step one is just getting on their radar. So like, how would somebody like sell to you? Like if somebody was trying to sell you a product,
Well, because I ignore everybody.
right? But that, I mean, I think that's a lot of people,
Yeah.
like a lot of business owners, especially, are like, and I don't blame them at all.
You just tune out to it because there's
Yeah.
so much stuff
You
going
just
on.
can't like. So yeah, I feel like that's the first step for me is just developing like a confidence and like going into a new place and being like, hey, I work for Cat and Cloud. We're awesome. You're awesome too. We want to work with you. Let's be friends.
We had talked about the idea of a values alignment and seeking out people that you actually think would be good matches and actually believe the same things as you.
Yeah.
And that's been much more effective for you than the shotgun technique, which is, I'm going to sell to everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to buy my coffee?
Totally.
It's hard to make a case for why your coffee would make someone's business better if there's no alignment, and it actually won't make their business better.
Right. I feel like that separates it from just like straight up like cold calling sales type maneuvering to like, oh, okay, you're a place that's been on my radar for a long time because you have an awesome brand and I've been to your shop and it's great. I had a good experience there. So I think that we could work together because we value a lot of the same things, whether it be like quality or courtesy or, whatever it is for that particular case. But yeah.
Which has tended to lead into a better working relationship with those people.
Yeah.
Also,
Definitely.
which is what makes Wholesale fun.
Right.
And it's like when we go visit accounts and we have this banter with them, I
Yeah.
feel relaxed, which is a good feeling because I didn't always feel like that.
It doesn't feel weird.
It doesn't feel weird. You're never wondering, like, do they actually want me here? Am
Yeah.
I just taking up their time? It's more just like chilling with friends. You're like, I'm with the homies. Even people that we hadn't even met before.
Yeah.
Like when we went to meet Jack
Yeah, Jack Harris.
at Blue Lagoon. Like, I never met that guy. I talked to him on the phone like one time.
Right.
But then we get there and it's like, oh, dude, this guy's fucking chill.
Yeah.
We're just hanging. We could have gone out to dinner, getting some drinks. It's easy.
Yeah, definitely. He's like deep in it right now. I've been seeing he reached out. I guess he was a subscription customer maybe in the past, and then he reached out about Wholesale like months ago, and has since been like navigating the process of opening his shop, Blue Lagoon Coffee. But yeah, it's been really cool to like follow. That's like kind of my favorite thing I would say that I've learned so far doing Wholesale is like when these people come to me and they're like, yeah, we're starting a shop. It's going to be great. We like believe in a lot of the things you guys believe in. We'd love to work with you. Like those are some of my favorite stories because you get to see them like grow over time and like develop their like brand. And like High Top was the same way where they were like, they contacted me pretty early on. And it was also cool for me to be like, oh, okay. So like I'm like fostering this relationship over time. Whereas like, I feel like some people would just be like, oh yeah, I don't really have time to like talk to you right now because you're not even like a real thing yet.
Yeah, are you going to buy coffee right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't care.
But it's like, it's a long play and sometimes it might work, sometimes it might not, but I think it's cool.
You have to make the play though.
Yeah.
Because almost the exception,
Excuse
me, I think the grocery experience that you had is maybe more the exception to the rule, and that accounts don't usually turn over in a matter of weeks.
Right.
It's a month-long process.
Yeah.
And if it takes you a quarter to land an account that's 100 pounds, it's totally worth it.
It's like, sweet. That's awesome.
And you have to do that because if you don't, then you're going to go through the quarter you're not going to land any accounts, or
Yeah.
you're going to land some piddly little accounts that are going to drop off eventually. And then what? You're just spinning wheels in the mud. So
Yeah.
it's hard because you don't feel that instant gratification.
Right.
But then when you do get them, you vibe with them.
Totally.
It's like a vibe, dude.
You're like in this together.
Who does the art for High Top? Do you know? They have like a pretty cool media presence.
I know that one of the owners, I think it's Carson, that runs the Instagram account, but in terms of who does the art, I think it's one of their, or no, it's actually not even a friend. It's like somebody that they like found and they were like, hey, do you want to like do art for us?
Carson apparently knows Theo
Oh, cool.
at Companion, another one of our accounts, which I only know because I talked to Theo last night at the holiday party.
world.
And Theo's from Fresno.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. That makes sense.
So,
Funny.
connection.
That's cool.
It's the French connection.
The Frez connection.
The Frez connection. What advice do you have for people who are trying to grow their business, grow their wholesale following, and they don't know where to start? Let's say
Yeah.
you're a coffee roaster, because we get asked about this all the time. I've been open for 3 months. I'm in business. I have good coffees. How do I get on people's radar? How do I differentiate myself from everyone else that's in the world?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I think it goes back to, first of all, you are a unique business. You're a unique person. You're a unique business. You have a story behind you. So it goes back to like getting your story out there into the world. And then also figuring out what you value and trying to find people that value the same things and like basically using that as your like entry point into conversations with people. And also just like figuring out like what do you need out of a wholesale program? So like for us, we try to focus on like a certain like kind of account, if that makes sense, of like in terms of volume, but also in terms of like exclusivity, because that enables us to do a lot more things with our accounts that we do have. So yeah, I think like, and it's weird. Sometimes that's a weird thought for me because it can feel like we're like rejecting a customer, like a potential customer.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's like they might be better with like another coffee roasting company that can dedicate, that is more focused on those kinds of
Their
accounts.
type of account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So, I mean, some people are like, we'll take any and every account. And then you have like 100 accounts and like 75% of those are like small. You know, that might work for some roaster, but it probably wouldn't really work for us.
We don't have the infrastructure to support that, even if we wanted to.
Yeah, totally.
And I would argue that it would not be as fun for us.
Yep.
But there are people who can do that.
Yeah.
So, oh, yeah.
Like every account takes like basically the same amount of time to like manage, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That was one thing that I found out, that if you have a 150-pound account or a 20-pound account, you're kind of spending about the same amount of time dealing with each of them.
And it's not to say that we don't like small accounts or something like that. Like, you know.
Well, no, it's okay to look at things from the perspective of a business.
Yeah.
You know, because if we look at things from a business-focused perspective and we know what makes sense for us, we have to do right by our business, but it also empowers us to give quality service to those people who we do think fit that profile.
Yeah.
Instead of spreading ourselves thin and doing like a little bit with everybody. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
I totally have that like little feeling sometimes where it's like, is this bad? Like, would someone come into the cafe and we tell them to leave? But it's not really a similar operating agreement.
It's different. Yeah.
It's totally different.
You're selling directly to a customer in the cafe. You're selling to like a business in wholesale. So, and they are a customer, but it's a different kind. It's B2B.
It's B2B. Hey, Cat and Cloud's on that B2B tip.
Business to business.
Business to business.
Uninitiated.
Pro tip. Theatricality and deception.
I went to college.
Powerful snares for the uninitiated. And then we're gearing up to do some pretty sick shit.
Yeah.
With our wholesale accounts and a select group of our wholesale accounts.
Yep.
Which, okay, we got a couple things coming up. Well, I want to talk about the videos.
Yeah.
So we've started this hub, this online video hub that's a information resource. Like, what are we calling it? A partner resource program?
Yeah.
For our exclusive wholesale partners.
Yep.
And basically, it's a video format like this, along with a written worksheet addressing topics that we use to make our business awesome. So we're actually recording one today about marketing. The first one we recorded last month, it's a monthly thing, was on why values are important for your business and how to integrate those into your business.
Yep.
And for me, it just seems like a way to actually add that little bit of extra value for people who really want to play with you and you only.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome. And that makes me feel so good just as a business owner and part of that Cat and Cloud team that someone loves us enough to be like, you know what? I could buy coffee from anybody. I love you guys.
Right.
Your coffee's awesome. I'm only going to buy your coffee.
Yeah.
That's big in today's multi-roaster world because we do have multi-roaster. You know, we're singing High Top's praises.
Yeah.
They're a multi-roaster account. They have Huckleberry. They're awesome. They're great.
Totally.
They buy a lot of coffee. They're freaking fantastic. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But to be, you know, we love you guys. Like, whoa, that's cool. I want to do something for you.
Right.
Because we appreciate that. So that's phase one in that. And I think it's something that could be really useful. We talk about a lot of this stuff on the podcast, but in the format where we're talking to our wholesale clientele, it makes it's even a little more personal because we know these people really intimately. We can speak very candidly and in like a really heavy business sense.
Yeah.
Like specific examples because you know how Hawthorne's business works. You can be like, okay, this is how it would work for you.
Totally.
You know, because you know how these places function. So that's phase one.
Yeah, I think it's cool. It's like, because we don't necessarily have the infrastructure and manpower right now to be able to do like a full-on kind of consulting situation. So I think it's cool to be able to like share certain things that are related to consulting. It's maybe not quite as personalized, although it is to some extent. But I think it's gonna be a cool thing for everybody.
I'm super pumped.
Yeah,
I mean, if we do one a month, it's going to be there'll be basically a master class online by the end of the year.
Mad content.
So it's a private video page that everybody logs into.
Yeah,
and we could utilize comments. We could talk to each other.
Yeah, we should. We should utilize comments.
Utilize.
The other thing we have coming up in next year sometime for our exclusive partners, but then like a couple others, like High Top is on this list too for sure, is this Wholesale Business Forum, which was Charles's idea initially. He had the idea of like getting everybody together in Santa Cruz and basically just talking about business. And specifically for him, he wanted to share financial strategies, things like that are, you know, the way that we operate our cafes basically. But now it's kind of turned into this like bigger thing where, you know, all like you and Jared are going to participate and I'll participate. And we're basically like,
it's like a mini conference.
Yeah, pretty
It's like
much
a mastermind group or something.
It's like invite only, like little exclusive conference thing.
It's going to be cool to see all of those people in the same room at the same time.
Yeah.
So the dream is to put them up in the same place so they can all kind of get to know each other and build that camaraderie.
Right.
And hopefully we can be resources for them, but like down the line, like hopefully they can be resources for each other. To where if Jack has a problem or an issue, he feels comfortable calling Dylan.
Right.
Or he has something that he thinks that Aaron could help out with specifically. He's like, you know what? I'm going to hit up Aaron and just see what he thinks about this.
Right.
I think that would be awesome. Building like a little mini network of people that you can just chop it up with.
Yeah, that is really valuable. And yeah, I know like Jack and Dylan are already like tight buds, which is awesome.
Because we have that with the French Press and Dune Coffee Roasters.
Oh yeah.
And it is awesome. So if I'm freaking out, I can talk to Julia, I can talk to Todd. If Todd has a question, he could talk to me, he could talk to Jared. And it's really, really nice to be able to talk with someone, especially outside of the organization.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about it, because I had some issues yesterday and I talked to Jared about them, and that was great to have a partner that you could talk to about anything. Like, hey man, I'm struggling with this. Like, what do you think? How do I move through this? But there's something else about this completely unbiased opinion.
Right.
To where they're just like, okay, you're being clouded by like your view of this person or what you think about this specific topic, or like what you're being clouded by Jared. But to have that unbiased opinion is just, it's cool. It's definitely valuable.
How did you guys get to that point? I mean, I guess it was basically because you both were involved with the French press at some point, right?
We were both involved in the French press, but it's really built around friendship more than it is around a business thing. So Julia, well, crap. When I first started working at Verve, the first trip that I took was to install the GB5 at State Street, the first French press store.
Oh, wow.
Because they had a loaner machine. It was like an old Linea.
They were a Verve account?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They were a Verve account before they started roasting.
Interesting.
For years. So we went down there, myself and Scott Scotty G from La Marzocco.
Scotty G. Gotcha.
You met him in Seattle for sure. You met him.
Probably.
I'll show you a picture and you'll be like, oh, yeah, for sure. So we went down there in the van to install their machine because he was the salesperson for Verve at the time.
Yeah.
So I met them, and they come from a skateboarding background. So it was just like instantaneous kickoff, and they were just fucking making fun of me right out of the gate. You could talk to Julie about it, but I showed up with Fila snap pants over basketball shorts and like a hat that was broke off so hard, like sideways and backwards. Like, well, who the fuck is this guy? Todd was just like, is this guy serious? Like, what's the deal? And we went and got drinks, and I ordered a Pisco Sour, and we just kind of hung out. And because she had a skateboard on the wall. It was a Neil blender, old Neil blender. So if you know skateboarding, you know who Neil Blender is. But her thing was like, that's the only blender I have in my shop. I don't have a blender except for that one. So we'd always been close, and I'd always talked to Julia specifically when I was having a really hard time. So after I left Verve and then was doing some other stuff and was having just like a full freak out, it was like probably the darkest time in my modern life.
Yeah.
She talked me through a lot of that. So I just felt comfortable with her. And then through that, them letting us roast there, it's just another, at that point, you're not competitors. You're not even coffee roasters.
Right.
You're friends with each other, and you both have a business. And you both know how challenging it is to be a business owner, even if you have a partner.
Right.
I've got Jared and Chuck and the team. She's got Todd and her family that helps out a lot, and her team. But there's still times when you just need to talk to someone else outside of the situation.
Totally.
And that's been invaluable just for mental health, just full-blown sanity's sake.
Coffee therapy.
I seriously can't imagine. It sounds super weird to say this, but I don't think I can imagine my current life without like Julia and Todd. I don't know. That's like the dumbest thing I could say.
No, that's deep.
Because I don't work with them, and I've never really thought about it like that on that level. But
that's pretty awesome to
I don't think I could. Yeah.
Be able to like point back to something and be like, yeah, it's just cool because just realizing that they're such a big part of Cat and Cloud, like, yeah, even though they're like a, like you said, competing coffee roaster, but they're also like,
I mean, she drew the fucking logo.
So many things.
Like, it's like her thing, which is, it's funny because I think about that every time I draw merch. I'm just okay, I got to channel Julia.
Man.
And then with the last shirt that we did, like the Shock Attack one,
yeah,
I drew that and I sent it to her. So I had the shark with the shaka and then the cat in the thingy and the cloud up there. And then she sent back another drawing, which, brilliant. She gave the cloud a surfboard and the sunglasses. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's super clutch. So then I redrew it with the sunglasses and the surfboard. And then that was the final product.
Wow.
There's just like total collaboration. And I like that.
Yeah.
It's cool. It feels, I don't know. It just feels nice. Friends are good to have. I don't know. I'm not that good at making friends, but it's cool to have people you can talk to.
Yeah.
So to bring that all the way around, if we can help create that for some people who buy our coffee, I think that's super tight.
Yeah.
And I think there's, to be real, and maybe this isn't like the best sales pitch that I could ever give. And so maybe I'm going to ruin your whole wholesale life business here. There's only so much we can give you as a wholesale provider.
Yeah.
And we do a lot and we do our best, but that's going to tap out somewhere. But if we can create interaction between other people and expand that network, and then you have 10 people to draw on instead of 2, and then a year from now you have 20 people to draw on instead of 10, that can scale infinitely, and there's so much power in that. And I think that's like real potential that you can tap into.
Yeah, I love that idea of having like a network that's unified by the fact that they carry Cotton Cloud coffee and they like feel that they can share stuff with each other. That's like that would be like the most powerful thing.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
I hope it gets to that point. And I think it can.
Yeah.
I truly believe it can. And I understand how it's going to be hard at first because it's hard to share things that are super personal to you and your business.
Right.
Because what pops into my mind is like, is this person going to judge me? First off, or like, am I doing it wrong?
Yeah.
Which is something that I think about all the time. Like, okay, I know a lot about coffee, but even in the scheme of being a business owner, we're like a year and a half in. It's like the whole team. So I'm always thinking like, am I doing this wrong? Like, is someone else doing it better? If I tell someone what I'm doing, are they going to think I'm like a complete idiot?
Yeah.
And what I've found through just sharing stuff with people is that most people have the same insecurities and the same concerns.
Totally.
And, nobody knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
They just have a strong vision for how they want the world to be.
Yeah.
So this vision of all of our wholesale accounts can come together and create a network that's infinitely more powerful than we can do alone, that's like the vision. And then we're doing our best at trying to figure that out.
Right.
And, Julia and Todd, like they opened a business, like they didn't go to business school.
Yeah.
They don't know anything. All they know is like, I love coffee and I love the community space that coffee creates. And we're going to create the coolest community space and provide opportunity for our employees. And that's like, and then you just figure it out.
Just learned it.
You plug along and then you pick things up from this person and you pick things up from that person, but you can't pick it up if no one wants to share because someone's like too sketched out by it.
Yeah, it really feels like a marathon. Like you just got to be in it for the long run and just do it.
You got to play with others too.
Yeah.
Like when I was in between this and Verve, what I was dealing with was a crew that was not into sharing because they thought they were better than everybody and no one could tell them anything. And I started to get toxic with that idea too because it was just like there all the time and I did not like that. Like it made me feel bad about myself.
Yeah.
And which is also something I talked to Julia about a lot. And I can tell you that it doesn't work. No matter how good you are at anything, it's not the most effective way to be.
Right.
And it's not even just, now I'm going so deep. It's not even just what you learn from other people, but it's that closed mind attitude to where it's like, yeah, I know. And like maybe you do know this about something, but where I came from and where I'm going now, I just used it as a lesson to where it's like, oh my God, like we were for sure that we knew all these things and probably about 80% of them were wrong.
Right.
Not because they didn't work, but because they didn't work anywhere near as well as they could because there was no room for experimentation. Because if you're not experimenting, you're never going to get anywhere new.
Yeah, you're not going to grow.
And your mind closes if you're like, I know it all. I don't need to fucking try this
The
thing.
world is constantly changing. Like, you just have to adapt.
It's constantly, and you are constantly changing, and you need to honor that too. Like what worked for you 2 years ago, it's not going to work. Right. You might even want something different. And that's something that you need to be aware of too, which I wasn't aware of at the time. I was like, is this actually what I want? Like, oh, this is not, if I'm really being honest with myself, this is not even close to what I want. Because I just needed a safe place. I needed to leave where I was basically. And this was the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
And it was hard for me to rectify that. Like I kind of took a cop out and it was total bullshit. So whatever, dude. I just eat peanut butter and jelly for a year. It's fine. People got it way worse than me, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's all worth it in the end.
Could figure it out.
Damn. Fuck. That got heavy at the end.
Yeah, we're going hard today.
We're going hard. That was a good podcast.
I just got like one more thing.
Oh, you got one more thing?
I feel like I want to say.
Let's do it, dude.
This is going to be the longest podcast in history.
I fucking love it. Can't wait to edit this one.
Triple angle. Yeah, I feel like from a wholesale perspective, so like my mode of operation every day, I'm always like questioning what we're doing and questioning like, can we be doing it better? And like, what are we saying that we're going to offer people? What are we actually offering people? What do we like really want to offer people in like the ideal world? And it's, I feel like it's one of the challenging things for me is to kind of be like take a step back and realize like, yeah, we're like building this thing. Like it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect for like a long time or ever. But the important thing is to just keep chipping away. So whether it's like figuring out how to do more cool things for our partners and being like, oh man, this is crazy. Like there's so many things to do already. Or managing or like trying to find new accounts out there in the world.
Yeah, it's incremental progress and it's marathon style mindset.
Yeah.
You can't sprint this thing.
I'm learning that because I'm used to like the instant gratification of like getting something done and being like, cool, this is done. That's it.
And there's a lot of things that we're going to do that don't work.
Yeah.
And that's chill.
That's true.
That's totally fine, which is really hard for me because I'm a perfectionist and I feel like a failure when I do something that doesn't work.
Right.
But it's how you get there.
I'm just going to throw this question out there. If you're a coffee roaster or a cafe rather, and not a coffee roaster, I mean, we want to hear from you too.
Are you a coffee roaster?
If you're a cafe business owner or whatever your role is and you buy coffee for your organization, I just want to like hear like what do you want? Honestly, because everybody wants different things and I can make assumptions about what people want based on, what I would think that I would want, but I'm not a cafe owner. So I think something that I'm trying to figure out is we want to offer things that nobody else offers. And I think we do already, but I want to get even deeper with that and be like, I want to offer things that are exactly what a lot of people want and don't have or can't get anywhere else. So yeah, if you want to share that, you could be anonymous. You could be like, create a fake email address and just hit me up. But
do you want them to yourself?
Yeah, hit me up, alex@catandcloud.com. I just want to hear. I just want to learn what's going on in the world.
It's a freaking great headspace to be in.
Throwing it out there.
That's like a pure growth mindset, pure service-focused mindset.
Yeah.
What a fucking champion.
That's what I want to do, dude. I want to talk about Wilbur Curtis. Can I?
Yeah, wholesale guy.
Yeah, I mean, I get to interact with Wilbur Curtis like a fair amount because, we buy equipment for some of our wholesale partners. And yeah, it's been awesome. Like I was just like, oh, who do I reach out to? And then I found this guy named Bill Furman.
Bill Furman.
Yeah. And he's awesome. I'll call him and he'll like either answer right away. He's got my number saved in his phone. Like he probably has like Alex Cat and Cloud, but
he's been in the cafe a couple times too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's awesome. And then also I could just call them, just like call their basic sales number, get somebody on the phone and get a quick quote. And when you order stuff, it's always comes super fast. Like
hella fast.
If there's a spare part that we need, like something broke on the brewer, we need to like fix the spray head or something like that. It's like lightning fast.
Lightning.
And I love that.
Curtis is lightning.
Yeah. I feel confident in being like, oh yeah, we can get that to you in like 2 or 3 days. No problem.
Don't make me a liar.
Yeah. Keep doing what you're doing.
Keep doing what you're doing. Dang, that was a good episode.
Yeah, it was a good one. I hope you guys like that.
I hope so too. And definitely email Alex. Hit him up because he is a curious man and he does want to know. And it'll help us build a program. And we can even share what we learned, dude. I don't even care.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
I just want to figure it out, guys.
Help me.
Help me help you.
Help me help you. Help us help yourself. Pay it forward. Cat and Cloud. Goodbye.
Bye.